Hi all, very good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
Hi, good morning.
Morning. Okay, great. Okay, people are joining. Okay, we'll start. Let me check.
Good morning.
Good morning. Am I the host now? Ah, okay. So I have put the today's notes also in that G drive. So please keep that in handy. If you are doing with me, you might need those files put there. I'll let you know. So
Can you please share me the link? I'm new to this class.
okay, no
Drive
worries,
link.
no worries. Sure. So is there any other uh, new learners here who are joining? So this is your G drive link. So in this G drive link, what you'll find date wise notes. The folder name will be in that date format, and from that folder you'll get all the files. So in case
Okay.
of anything needed, how to load the file, let us know. So this is all the notes are in terms of IPython notebook. Okay, and you just need to load that IPython notebook in your Jupyter environment or Google Colab notebook or in Google Colab. Okay, I pinged in the chat
Oh,
the link. Yes.
yeah, thank you so much. I get it.
Huh. So that let me explain before people are joining. So this is how it looks like. Okay, so the folders with the date and the session name, and inside the folders you'll find the required files. Okay, guys. So for today's folder, today's is 8 June, right? Did I upload the 8 June? I was doing it last night. Yeah, it's there. Okay, 8 June. So you'll find all the files here. If necessary, you can download there and we'll start using. Okay, so shall we start, or people still joining? Okay, let's give 1 or more minute, because I know this morning time.
Excuse me, sir. While download and upload the files in the Google Colab, it shows the error. Can you once again tell me the way to download and upload that?
Yeah, you share your screen. We'll see. I'll let you know. Yeah. So 8th June folder you go. 8th June last folder. So Divya, go to that folder. Click on that folder. 8th June folder. 8th June. That is 6th June. So any like go to the 8th, last folder, 8th June. Yes. Now any file in the right hand side, you can see 3 dots for every file, 3 dots to the right hand side. Yeah, there. If you click there, you'll get the option to download. Click there. Download. So download those files. Once it is downloaded, it will be in your download folder, right? Now go to Google Colab.
Can we take print out of it? Is it possible?
Yes, you can convert to PDF and you can print those things.
Okay.
Okay, so open Colab. So it is open, right? In your third tab, it is already open, Google Colab, right? In your third tab in your screen, it's already there, right? So here, if you go to the left hand side where files were written, top files, yeah, down, yeah. So there is an icon, top arrow icon, right? So here I think you all by mistakenly clicked on that, source file. So do one thing, refresh this page, refresh this page. Not here, not here. Don't upload here. Just refresh this page. Press F5. Or there is a refresh button over there, right? Let me highlight it. So once you refresh this page, yeah, go to the left hand side file, down to that, yeah, that folder, yeah. So always remember this one, the folder icon, then the top arrow icon, there is a icon, yeah, that one, there you have to upload, okay? So what you downloaded in your download folder, yeah, so this CT data, weather data, every file, IPython notebook, you can upload here. Now upload that. So once you upload this, you'll be able to access the files. And if you want to upload the IPython notebook, then you have to, upload the notebook itself. If you will go to the file, so you know how to upload that new file, right? IPython notebooks, right? Divya, do you know how to upload the IPython notebook? Yeah, the upload notebook, correct. So if you click on the upload notebook, it will ask you to upload the IPython notebook, and that particular file will open. Getting now? If you are speaking, you are on mute. I can't hear you. Okay, no worries. Let me share the screen again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now I am clear. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's start our data pandas journey again today. Okay. This one, the key operation we are seeing, right? So what I am going to show you. So yesterday we got to know how to read from CSV file and Excel file, right? Now I'll show you how you can save this data in your Excel file. Suppose you are doing some analysis, okay? And what you found, you have 100 columns. Suppose you have 100 columns like this, okay? And you found 80 columns are important, and you dropped 20 columns. Okay, now how to drop the columns and all, we'll see with data manipulation. Okay, so suppose you drop 20 columns out of 100 columns. Now those 80 columns are your required data, right? And now what you need to do, because if you will disconnect from here, the data will be gone. Now what you can do, you can save those 80 columns in a CSV file or Excel file in your system with a new name or with a new file. Okay, let's see that. So first of all, let me connect to this. You please also try to add weather data.csv file here, weather data.csv file and weather data.excel file. I'll show you how to do this. Just 1 minute, let me connect. So if you run this query, can you verify whether loading the weather data.csv giving you this particular results? Can you confirm that? It is taking bit time for me. Not sure why, but yeah. So once you load it, let me load all the files quickly. Guys, can you please try to load the CSV file and Excel file and run the data and see whether these results are visible to you? Meanwhile.
Sure, Ashish.
Yeah, do it. Let's do it. Because we'll see the operation based on it. So once we load, we'll perform all the operation here. So you can also implement this in your work environment also. What is that? Okay, this is June 9, 7th June. This one, right? Weather data.csv. Then this 3 I am going to upload. Okay, so once you started uploading it, you'll get a warning message saying that once you disconnect, ensure that your files are saved elsewhere. This runtime files will be deleted when this runtime is terminated. That means once you disconnect, the files that you are uploading here, it will be gone. And every time you are opening this, you have to upload that, because this server is running in cloud, right, guys? So, and every time a new cloud server is being assigned to you whenever you are opening a new Google Colab server. So once you disconnect, that server is going, and you are seeing, those. So you can think like this. This is going to be saved in a temporary memory. Once you disconnect, those data will be deleted from the temporary memory. Okay, so better here, one thing you can do, so whenever you are doing the projects when some data you are going to save and all, so here there is one option, you can directly save into your Google Drive. Okay, if you see this icon, if you see my cursor, this third icon, if you click that, it will mount the Google Drive to this system. Now what I can see, I'll show you how we can do. Once suppose this is the data you have, now you want to save this in a CSV file. Now you give the path directly to the Google Drive so that it will directly save inside your Google Drive. So that even if you disconnect it from this server, the data will be still there in your Google Drive. Okay, guys. So let me show you. But it is, why it is not uploading? What is wrong with it? Yeah, started it. Okay. Now, once we have the data, now shall I run this again?
Ashish, I have a question. So, is that weather data CSV in your personal computer that you're using, or is it inside Panda's module itself?
No, this is just a demo data that we created to understand our data. It's not like inside Panda.
Okay. So, if we have that CSV file in our system only, we'll be able to open this, right? Because when I run it, it is showing no such file or directory itself.
Okay, guys. Okay. Let me explain it from the beginning again. Okay, as few of them are new also. See, guys, what happened? All these files I have put inside this Google Drive link. Okay, and all the files are here. So suppose 7th June, yesterday's class files. Okay, you can see all the files I have put in the G Drive. So here you can download it. So suppose this weather data CSV you downloaded. Okay, now once you downloaded, this file is in your personal laptop. Okay, in the download folder. Now let that be there. Now you come to Google Colab. Okay, here once you come, this is a new server created for you. Here, whatever CSV file or Excel file you downloaded there, you upload from here, from your download folder. So whatever you downloaded file, suppose you want to upload that CSV file, b.csv, suppose you upload it. Okay, once you upload, you can verify the file got uploaded here in the left hand side. That means what? From your local system, this file uploaded to the Google Colab server. Okay, now once this is done, now if we'll run this code, now this will work. Unless that file is listed here in the left hand side, if you run this code in Google Colab, it won't work. Making sense?
Yeah, okay, now I got it. I'm getting the same data frame in my output also. Thank you.
Great. And one more thing, okay. So as we are talking about files and saving, this is a good practice actually. And this is also, whether you go for DL role, ML role, you can utilize Google Drive here. Suppose you can see this icon, Mount Drive. If I click on this, you can see an automatic code getting generated here in your cell. What is the code? Automatically. So in Python, for Google Colab also we have libraries. Okay, and using this library, we are going to mount the drive. Now if you run this piece of code here, it will ask for your Google Drive permission. Permit this notebook to access your Google Drive files. Connect to Google Drive. You click on connect to Google Drive. Okay, once you do that, and you need to wait for a few seconds. Now so once you give the permission, it will again ask for a sign-in authentication, which Google account you want to add. So suppose I added this account, or click on that account. So now, as soon as you do this, again, you need to allow it. Okay, you need to allow to access the G Drive documents and drive. Okay, once you do this, you can see this cell which we are running for Google Drive. This will be completed. Just you need to wait for one or few seconds. Okay, so once this is completed, mounted at here. Now in the left hand side, you will see a folder name called Drive. Okay, and if you expand that, this is nothing but your Google Drive. So whatever data you save, the photos, files, everything, it will come here. Okay, are you getting, guys? Any query on this? So now what you can do now, along with this server file, you have your own personal G Drive folder also situated here. Now what is the benefit? I will show you. This is related to our next topic here. Okay, so I'm going to delete
And
this
Ashish,
code.
like the DF equal to PD reads CSV, this thing was there, right? Like it's not about the file uploading. Like I'm just asking about the first line. Like we were importing the Panda library, and then we were reading the file, and then the DF is for printing purpose, right?
Yeah. So either you can write. So here, I personally like without writing print, because I show you
Yeah,
this.
yesterday you showed me the
So those
difference, right?
format will be different, and this is only for simplicity. You can't so whatever at the last line, that is going to run. Now if I write this print hi here below to that DF. Okay,
Okay.
if I'll do this, I'm just going to show you. Now if we'll run this, the data frame is not going to be visible, because this is not the last line. So this will work only if it will in the last line. Now if you want to print this DF along with this hi statement, then you have to write print
DF,
here.
okay.
Then if you run this, then this will come and the hi will come. But visually it is not interactive. So that's why I removed all this, only DF I kept. Okay. Now once you do this, guys, okay, let's go to the topic here. For Excel also you loaded, right? Same thing. Now can you tell me, if I run this code, I ran this both the cell, right? This cell and this cell. Can you tell me what is the DF variable now containing, whether this is containing the data from CSV or Excel? Because both are DF now, right?
Excel file, the last we are updating, that only takes, right?
Correct. No, the last cell we are running, that variable. Now if I run this and I don't run this, that means my DF is containing this CSV file data. So the last cell, so the point is here, with the same variable name, the last cell what you are running, the variable is going to contain that data, the last cell you are running. So if I run this now this DF is nothing but containing the Excel file data. Okay, now let's see what I'm going to do. So bit of recap from our yesterday session. I location, guys. Can you see what I'm doing here? Can you see what I'm doing here? I location, guys.
Columns. Separating two columns.
So what does this mean? That means
all rows.
All rows. Then comma. Then the required column.
One column.
So that means from our above data, we want to get first column 0, then 2. This is 1, this is 2, right? So day and wind speed I am trying to access. And if I will try to access with LOC option, how to do that? This is the way with LOC, because ILOC means integer value it will take. LOC means the name of that column it will take. Now, can you see what I'm doing here? I am saving this information into a new variable called df new. Are you observing this difference?
Sorry to interrupt you. So
Yeah.
for a normal location like df.loc, what is that parameter, like semicolon, comma, and then you enter the.
Yes.
Can you explain this?
So again, okay. I'll recap our understanding from iLocation. So when you call iLocation method from data frame or from pandas library, you mention all these things in a square bracket. That is the syntax. Okay. Now you divided this with a comma. Now to the left hand side of the comma, this is the row information. To the right hand side of the comma, this is the column information. Now, if you have multiple columns to be selected, you have to pass this right
Hello,
side
sir.
information. Yeah.
So can you please repeat it?
Okay. So data frame dot iLocation method. Okay. It is taking two things. Okay. If you see, okay, I'll write like this. Okay, to make you understand. So the syntax is you have to write this in a square bracket. It is clear? And whatever inside the square bracket, you have to divide into two parts by comma, like this comma. Now, whatever to the left side of this comma, this is your row information, which row you want to select. Okay. And what is to the right to this comma is your column information. I hope you know what is row, right? Row is this direction. Column is this direction, right? Now, if you have to select multiple columns, then in this right side information, you have to pass that in a list, which particular rows that you want to select. Getting? Now, if you use iLocation, ILOC, then you have to pass this information as an integer. What do you mean by integer? The first column is 0th column, the second column is 1 column, third column is 3 column, like this, the index value of the column. Now we are doing the same thing using LOC, not ILOC, LOC. But here also same thing. Left hand side of this comma is the row information. Right hand side is the column information. And here, but here, what is the difference? You have to give the column name instead of the index number of the column. Okay, both are achieving same result, right? If you run this also, it is also popping up the same result of day and wind speed. Am I clear now?
What is the use of using the I love both are giving the same output. Right?
What is the use of?
Like we are using different iLocation and location. So it gives the same output. Okay, why are we using different things?
Yeah, so see, different methods are there. If you want to access through integer, only integer,
okay.
That depends on your work. Okay, if you don't, suppose you don't want to write all the names, suppose you have 100 columns, you are not going to write 100 columns names here, right? So instead of that, you mention from 0 to 100 like this. So what does this mean?
Okay.
Yeah, so that means select, yeah, so let it be. Now once so this is my data now. So what I did, I converted my whole data to a specific data. The example I'm giving about the removed 20 columns and you kept 80 columns. So suppose you kept this column.
And Ashish, like, sorry to cut you off. Like if I want to print the specific rows, then I need to do the same thing as we doing to the column, right? 0,2 or 0,4.
Yeah,
like
correct. So here if you see, suppose what I need from
0 to 4, we'll consider
0 to 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means you selected. So whatever your requirement, suppose you need first 5 rows and last 2 columns, then you can slice the data. Now the thing you need to observe here, I am saving this data with inside a new variable called df new. What is our initial variable? df. Now after slicing, after gathering the required data, I am storing this data in a df new variable. Now the thing is here, the catch is here. If you want to save this data now, in a different CSV or Excel file. What you need to do, you just need to call that variable name which contains your new data, that is df new, okay, dot to CSV. So when we are reading, this thing is what? Read CSV, right? Read underscore CSV. But if you are saving this to a new file, new CSV file, then you need to call to CSV. Okay, so as soon as you do this, and in the function parameter, you have to pass the file name and with the extension that you want to save. Suppose I want to give the file name as new file, but here you need to mention the extension .csv because you want to save this data in a CSV format. Now, if you run this code, what will happen? Let's see. If you run this code and refresh here, you will see one new CSV file got created. Now, this new CSV file containing which data? This is your sliced data, not the original data frame that you loaded from the Excel or CSV file. So what does that mean? I loaded the original file, I do my analysis, and I found these are the particular rows and columns are important to me. So I created a new data frame using this. Now, for my research purpose or my analysis purpose that I need to do tomorrow, I am saving this information into a new CSV file. Okay, df new to CSV, then the file. Now can you observe what is going to happen if I disconnect from the server? This file is going to be deleted because it's a temporary memory. Now to save this into your drive, okay, what you need to do? Suppose this is your drive. If you'll see your drive, there is a folder. Suppose here this is the first folder. Here I want to save this particular CSV file. So what you can do? Select that folder. Okay, here lots of files are there. So select this folder. Here in the 3 dots, if you click on the 3 dots, there is an option called copy path. And click on that copy path. And so keep in mind, guys, what we are going to do, we are going to save this file inside our drive. That is our aim here. So to save a file, what is the syntax? The new variable to CSV, then the file name. Here you have to give the path. And how are you going to give the path? Like this. So the path you copied, if you paste, it will copy the path to the drive. Okay, so this is the folder path I copied. Collab. So this is my drive. You can see contained drive. Then inside drive, there is my drive. Now, if you'll expand my drive, there is another folder called collab notebooks. And inside that folder, I am storing this new file.csv. Now, if I run this, what will happen? The file we created, it is going to be stored inside that folder. I think I have lots of files here. So I'm not sure whether this will be visible for you, but you can try and you can see whether it is storing or not. Okay, so many files. What is the file name? New file, right? See guys here. So a new file.csv got saved inside your G drive folder. Now, although you will disconnect from the server, you can access from your G drive this file. And same thing you can also do to read the file from G drive. Now, what is the syntax to read the file now? Can you tell me?
Where we need to like given variable.
So
PD, read.
So okay, right. So
yeah,
loaded file. So variable name I'm going to give loaded file. So loaded file.
PD dot read CSV.
Then here the path file. What you need to give. So whatever path you shared, right? Where you have saved the folder. So here you have saved the folder, right? So save the file, right? What is that?
We have that path like above this, right?
Just a minute. Let me. Oh, right. correct. So sometimes, yeah. So we have this path. So I'm showing like how like here also you can copy the path from this 3 dots. If you want to load a particular file, you can copy the path. Okay. So here the path we already have. Now you give this path. Okay. Now once you give this path, and printed your loaded file variable. Now let's see what is happening. Now the file we saved in our G drive, that is going to be directly accessed from the G drive. Even if you got disconnected.
And Ashish, like the
yeah.
new file.csv, like where you named it actually?
New file.csv, while saving it, I named it, right?
Okay, so
yeah.
Okay, so while saving in that like command itself, you have saved it.
Yeah, I have given the new name that I need to use. And
Okay.
but we need not to forget the extension here. If you so the same thing you can do, I'll show you how to do for Excel. Okay, we'll see. This is for CSV file. And once you save this, you can retrieve this tomorrow also from the same location with pd read CSV command with the path, full path. Now, when the file is at your content memory, not in your drive, what is the difference here? You just need to remove this path, right? Because this is like I'm talking about this file, which is inside my temporary memory, which is inside this drive. I have to give the full path to that drive link. So this is clear. Any query on this G drive saving and retrieving, guys? No, right? Making sense, right? If you want, yeah. Yeah, okay. So try with your system, guys. Okay, try with your system and see whether you will be you are able to do or not. Now tell me what is the difference here in the result? Can you observe any difference? The file we saved and the RATRA we are retrieving here. Is there any difference?
Yeah, that
One more
unnamed equal to 0 like that.
Huh. So this is an unnecessary index number is being created while saving the file. While saving the file, an unnecessary index number is being created. Okay, to remove this, what you need to do, if you remember, while we are saving the file using what? This command, df new to CSV, then my file name. Here you need to pass another parameter along with the file name that you want to give. What is the parameter? That is called index equal to false. So if you don't mention this, by default, it is taking index equal to true. So when index equal to true, this kind of column will be generated. So while saving the file, if we'll pass this parameter index equal to false, now what I'm doing here, I'm creating another CSV file whose name is new no index. Let's run that. Where it will be created? In my G drive or this local, guys? If I'll save this file.
Now it will be in local.
Local, like in this local temporary environment. Now, if we'll refresh this, there is another file called new noindex.csv. Okay, now if we'll load this file, so we saved this file. You can do the same by saving it in your G drive. Okay, now if we'll run this file, can you see now that unnamed unnecessary indexing column is not there? So if you don't need the index, please make sure while saving the file, you mention index equal to false, or else an unnecessary column will be created here. Getting it, guys, right? Any query till now? Okay. Now suppose I want to save that in an Excel file. What is the format? If you see here, same thing, df new. Here to CSV you are calling, right? Here you have to call to Excel. Okay, to Excel, and the Excel name you want to give, but with the extension. There the extension you are using .csv, right? Here the extension you need to use .xlsx. And if you remember, in Excel you have sheet names, right? Different sheet names, right? Sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. You can give the sheet name also here called weather data, or any name that you want to give. And again, index need to be false, or else a new unwanted index column will be created. Now, if you do that, can you see whether data XLS got created? Oh, sorry, guys, I have not ran it. So if you run that, can you see new.xlsx got created? Now this is a Excel file. So we saved the data in two different formats. One is CSV file, one is Excel file. Now suppose I want to read the data I saved as Excel file. What I need to do? pd.read Excel and give the new file path, new.xlx. If you saved this file in your G drive, give the full path to the G drive. Or if you share here in a local temporary memory, you just give the file name. That's all. And if you read this, now you can download this file and verify in your system also that is the Excel file, this is a CSV file. Now this is how you can do an operation through files, whatever data. This is very useful because if you will work on a project, it is not going to be there for 2 to 3 days. Okay, it can be. So I have also personally done some projects which like that for months. Okay, so for that you have to save the required file somewhere.
And
Right?
Ashish, like df.new to Excel to Excel, like we were writing the new Excel, but what is the sheet name? I've like.
What is the
sheet name you have mentioned, right? Like in
so
that.
if you open an Excel file in your system, in Excel file, remember there is like
the below sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3.
sheet 1, sheet 2. So this is what you are just naming the sheet.
Oh, okay. Through this we can able to do that also. Okay.
Through this we can do, and also some other things also that even like I am not aware. Like so many things are getting invented day by day. Okay, so that's why this learning should be there. Okay, this is not the ending. So if you
Ashish,
there,
sorry to interrupt. So what is the index equal to false? Why did we write that?
So what does this mean? So if you don't give this, see what we did, we didn't give this index equal to false. That means by default the index will take true. If you don't mention this and save the file, then in the next day when you are going to retrieve the file, you will get something like this. An unnecessary column will be generated, index column, unnamed 0. Okay, to avoid this, we are giving index equal to false, so that whatever data is going to be loaded without this column, the column that we need.
The main column will be avoided by giving the index equal to.
Correct. So if you won't give, then while saving, this column will be created.
Ashish, what is the Excel and CSV file? It is the same for both, same or like different? CSV and Excel.
What is the difference between Excel and CSV file?
CSV, like is it a kind of same thing or different? But I haven't heard about CSV before.
Okay, so Excel you have encountered, right?
Yeah, I have it.
CSV, it's a different kind of file, but with a comma separated value. So your columns and the rows will be separated by a comma. Just a different type of file, like Excel. Is just a type of file. So for a text file, what is the extension?
.txt.
So type of file. So you can handle multiple file types also through Python. So that's the motive here, like Excel, CSV, text file, JSON file. JSON file, guys, we are just discussing about JSON file, right? Today we'll cover the JSON file today. Okay. And so this is now clear, the file saving, retrieving.
In Excel sheet, we have too many sheets. In Excel file, we have too many sheets. But here we open only one sheet. If you want to open too many sheets, means we need to give the sheet name, one sheet name to again that how many we want. We need to give that name here, right?
Correct. You can give that. But so this data you want to save in the sheet name called weather data. If you want to save some other name, you can give same file name, but sheet name you can give different. So that will be saved in the different sheet. Try
Sir,
these things, okay. Yeah.
yeah, one thing I missed in between, like first you showed the saving just by giving the file name. So we could see it on the left hand side, just like that. And the next one is like by giving the path, right? So but if you're doing both, I mean, then the file will be located in two locations, or how it?
Okay. I'll summarize again, guys. Okay. I'll summarize. Yeah. I'll summarize again. So this line, what we are doing, once we did our analysis, we saved the details in a variable called df new. So in this line, whatever inside that df new variable, we are saving into a Excel file. Okay, so first thing is to save the data into a file, whether Excel or CSV. So once you save the data, it is inside your system now. You can download, you can share it to someone. Now, if you share this file to someone, how that person is going to open? Using this command. The file you saved, pd.read Excel, then whatever data you saved it, that person can open with the same file name once that person has the file with this command. So this line is to save the file. This line is to, after saving, retrieve the file or read the data from the file. Am I clear? Did I explain?
Sir.
Right, guys? Or any other queries? Okay. Okay, guys. So the good thing is do a practice on this. Okay, try to implement this in your day-to-day work so that you will get the most benefit out of it. Okay. Now let's have a clause called group by clause. So now those who are aware about SQL and the syntaxes, I think they would get it easily. But those who are totally new to the SQL also, so group by clause means, in a layman term, what I'm going to tell you. Suppose you have a data, city wise data, Chennai, Bangalore, Mumbai, right? So those city wise, if you want to accumulate the data or group by. So let's see with example. So if you see, I am using a CSV file which is already there in your G Drive link called weather data cities.csv. This file, okay. And if we'll run this file, you will see this type of information: day, city, temperature, wind speed, and event. Okay, like this. Now, what is group by here? Group by means I don't want to see all the data of Mumbai and Paris. I want to see the data for New York, only New York. So what does that mean? That means I want to group the data based on what? City. Are you getting what I'm saying here? Suppose there is 3 cities and I want to see city wise data, not every data. So that means I am trying to group the data into different category, and the category is here called city. Based on different cities, I am going to group the data. Now to do that, data frame has one method called group by. If you see here, data frame, if you see the syntax here, what I wrote, df, that means my data frame, this one, dot group by. That means it will understand you want to group based on some value. Now, what is the value that you need to pass as a parameter? So now what is this city? This is the column name. That means city wise, I want to group the data so that with different cities, I will be able to see different details. Okay, let's see what this means. Okay, so df dot group by city. Now what I'm going to do, I am going to store this result in a variable that is called g. So g equal to df dot group by. Okay, let it be. Let's not run this. Now this is your what? Group data stored inside G. Now once you store the data inside G, shall we print G only? Can you see what is happening if I try to print G only? Now it is saying me your grouping data that you did using data frame is saved at this location. Now to see the results, so that means it has multiple results stored at that location. To retrieve that, what you need to do, you need to run a for loop on that variable like this. So can you guess how many elements or how many results I am going to get if I run a for loop for on this G? Because this G contain what? City wise data.
11.
Based on the number of cities. Here, I think it's 3 cities.
Right. So now if you run this, you will get, now what is the best thing when you see the what is the first group, use a break statement. What does that mean? That means it will stop after first iteration. It won't let proceed you to go to the next iteration. Now can you see what is the first element that it recovered there? The first city. Okay, so as you said, there are 3 cities are there, right? If you see here, 3 cities are there: New York, Mumbai, and Paris. Okay, so this G contains now the data related to this 3 cities. Now if you run a for loop on this G, you will get 3 city details. So this is the first city, right? So let's print out all the city details. Now if you see, after using group by, you got Mumbai. Okay, that means this is the data related to Mumbai. What is the column? You can see the column slightly misplaced here. This day belongs to what? This first thing. Okay, this first. Shall I use pen here, guys? Okay, just a minute. Let me use pen here. So if you see, this column belongs to what? This. Okay, city. So bit of misplaced here. This is city. This is temperature. This is wind speed. Okay, and this is event. And this all data is only for what? Mumbai. So you grouped the data based on the categorical column. So here my categorical column means different category are there. In the city column, different category are there called Mumbai, New York, and Paris. Now based on this category, you can club the data into one place. Mumbai data altogether, the New York data altogether, Paris data altogether. Now what is the benefit actually? Why we are doing this?
But Ashish, in the Excel, we can see that the New York is the first one, and then the Mumbai, and then the Paris. Like when the group by thing was applied, it was showing Mumbai first, New York second, and Paris third. Why so?
M, then N, then P.
Okay, get it. Alphabetical order. Okay.
Alphabetical order, and that also fine. If it is the order will be changed, that is like you here the first element means Mumbai, second element means New York. If the change also, then you need to keep the first element is New York, then second element is Mumbai, based on this. So that depends like how you are going to use the data. So the thing is, why now we want this data? Now suppose I want to say what is the maximum temperature in Mumbai, not through the whole data. Now, as we group the data based on the city, now based on the city, we can find different information. Like with respect to Mumbai only, what is the maximum temperature? With respect to what? Paris, what is the maximum temperature? So as we group the data, now it is easily accessible, category wise. Category wise means the city wise. Here the categorical variable is city. Okay, now let's see how to do that. So suppose if you see this command, this syntax, what is G?
Grouped variable.
Right, grouped variable that you gave here. So using that variable, so now this is my object. From the object, you can call the methods. So in this object, there is a method called get group. So get group means all the groups that got created. And inside that method, you can pass any specific group that you want to choose. Suppose Mumbai I am choosing. Or what was in there? Paris, suppose Paris. Okay, and dot max. This syntax we have already seen. Dot max means find out the maximum value in that number. Now, if I'll run this, can you see what is the result I'm getting? The particular row information which contains the maximum value. Now, can you see what is the difference here by calling the max value? Can you see it for Paris? Can you see the result? What we are getting here after calling g.get group?
Yes, sir, like out of the Paris result, whichever has the maximum temperature that is displayed.
Okay, here slightly size. There is a catch here, guys. Okay.
Yeah, like it was taking the
No.
maximum with the comparison of number, but we were not given any kind of argument to take that from the temperature itself.
Huh. So the
No,
thing, yeah.
Also 20, that the highest common issues are taking.
So what it is doing, it is going to this Paris information. From each column, it is picking the maximum value from each column. Like from day column also picking the maximum value. City is already Paris. So Paris is the maximum value. In the temperature column, what is the maximum value? 54. So there also it is picking 54. In the wind speed, what is the maximum value? 20. And in the event also it is picking the maximum value. So here maximum means the highest character, that is S, right? Starts with S. In the date also you can see it is selecting what? 1/4/2017. So that means from every column it is picking the maximum value. Are you getting what happened here?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, I had a doubt. Here, if we are doing data analysis, right, then we need to collect one particular column, right? Like suppose by city wise or temperature wise or wind speed wise, like that, right? Then we can get to know, okay, 50 temperature is at Paris in this date. That will be more useful rather than this, I think.
Okay, so that means you want to say column wise, like not for with respect to each column, right?
Yeah, I want to check like maximum column. Then how can we do?
So suppose if you see, I remove the max attribute now and I ran only this g.get group Paris. So now this is what? A data frame containing what details? Containing only Paris details. Now you tell me which column. So now you know how to slice a data frame, and if you want to select any particular column, you can do how to do that.
Okay.
Suppose, yeah, here. So here that means this means all row, and column that you want to give is what? Temperature, right? So if I'll do this, what will happen? Did I do it correctly, guys?
Okay, location was missed.
Okay, .loc and temperature. Now, if I want to find the maximum, what I need to do?
.max.
Got it? Could I explain your question? This is what you are asking, right?
No, for the maximum temperature, we need the full row details, right? We can get only the maximum temperature detail here. I need all the data in that row. How can we get that?
Okay, so if you recollect yesterday's session, are giving some condition to select a particular row. Guys, can you recollect what? Okay, so to do that, can you try to recollect what you are giving in the location in the left hand side, the row condition? What is the row condition here?
F is equal to the max temperature. Sorry, G.
So
group for
just give me 1 minute. Let me first solve myself. This is the data frame dot temperature. Okay, equal to what? You recollect this kind of syntax yesterday we are doing? Dot max. Okay, this is the row information and this is the column information. What is the column information? Temperature. Okay, now if I run this, so just a minute. What is this showing? Is what is this? 10. This is the index number. So guys, if you recollect our yesterday session, this is g.getToParis.max. So here something that we are missing. So that's what you mean to say. You need to find the whole what row, right? Okay, guys, sorry, my bad. Here we need not to give the what the particular column, right? This is what you need, right?
Yes, exactly.
Right. So see guys, those I think a few of you are newly joined the session. Okay, I'll explain this one. If you remember yesterday's session, wow, we are printing a particular row based on the maximum temperature condition. Here using LOC, if you remember, inside this, what is the first parameter to left to the comma? This is the row information. And after the comma, this is the column information. Are you able to see this? Right? So this part is the row information, left hand side to the comma, right? So here in the row information, what we gave? We gave select this data frame and select the temperature column and check the value is for that particular column maximum or not. If that is maximum, return that value to me, that particular row. Now this is all about row information. After comma, right hand side, I mentioned all the, so this only column means what? All the column information. So this is how you can retrieve only a row with maximum temperature from the data frame which contains only Paris detail. Any query on this? So guys, if you think like, okay, this is how we can write, right? So this will come by practice. Even if you will go 6 to 7 months back, I won't be able to write this type of query, but the more you practice, the more you are, understanding the logic and you can write on your own.
Okay.
Great. Now, suppose I will print the g.max function. I will directly call the g. So g is my what? Grouping data. Now if you'll see here, g.max also printing the maximum value for each CT, for each column. So if you need this kind of details, you have to do like this. If you need this kind of details for each, so suppose you want to see what is the maximum value in each column, then you call this method. Okay, and suppose you want to know what the mean value, how to do this mean value?
But in that max, the date was same in all those 141414 like that.
Yeah, because in Paris data, the maximum date is this, right? So okay, so to understand this, go to the this original.
Okay.
So 1/4/2017 is in every city. That is the maximum value. So it is
Okay.
picking a maximum value from the column.
Okay. From each and every cities and all those.
Each
Okay.
and every city. Correct. Correct. So now if you want to know the mean value or the average value, what is that? G dot mean. Now mean will be calculated on only on numerical columns, right? In string types or categorical column, it is not going to be happen. So it only took what? Numerical column temperature and wind speed. Now, can you recollect something I was showing as dot describe, which is like giving us all the statistical details, dot describe. That also you can do here. G dot describe. So in the describe means it will tell you every mathematical thing like what is the count, what is the mean value of each group. So this is what city wise for the column temperature. City wise details of column temperature. This is city wise details of wind speed temperature. Sorry, wind speed column.
And that mean function will help us to find the what is the actual use of that average. Okay, got it.
And you need not to call the mean function if you are going to use describe, because here also you can see the mean value. What we used dot mean here, what result we got for temperature and wind speed, we can see the same thing here for temperature 88, 32.25, 47.75. So calling this describe will give you G dot mean, G dot max, G dot mean, everything in one place. If you see here, minimum value also there, maximum value also there. This is, I told you, right? This is IQR, interquartile range. That you are going to get it. So by calling the describe also, you will get all the required statistical information about your numerical column. Now, so the point is, guys, this is just the starting. Like, yeah.
Hello. If you are giving that describe function, like it will show like different columns. It will separately pose the column wise, right? Like here.
Right.
Oh.
Correct. Like it will apply on the column. So this means it will apply on this numerical column, not this CT, day or event. Only temperature column and wind speed column, and it will calculate the average value on these values, or the minimum value from these values, or the maximum value from these values, like this.
It shows that city names as well, right? Not only.
Because this is I'm showing the original data, not grouping data.
Can you go down to that function?
So here it is the grouping data. Yeah. So this
function it will give only that like numerical values.
Right. Only on the numerical column, and it will calculate the mean in that column. Minimum value or maximum value, or how many rows you have. Okay, so those things. Standard deviation.
But it will show the city as well, right? Yeah. Not only the numerical values, but it is showing the cities as well.
Guys, okay, I'll see you. Just see two things here. DF containing original data. Okay, this is my original data. Now G containing what? G containing what?
Group data.
What is that syntax? G. So guys, what I was trying to say.
It should just print 0.
Get group. Sorry, what you are saying?
Yeah, if we just put print G, we'll just print the G.
Oh, okay. Is it? Yeah, let's see. Print G. No, you have to iterate over it, because this contains the for I in G, print I. Okay. So now this will print all the CT details. Now DF is original data. G containing group data. Now based on this, where you want to apply the describe function, it will apply based on. So if you want to apply the group function in the grouping data, that is in G, then city wise it will see. In Mumbai, it will go to the temperature and wind speed column and do all this stuff, mean, maximum, these things. But here, if you, in the data frame, if you call the describe, what will happen? On the whole data, it will do all these things, mean, max, on the whole data. But here, as you grouped it, it is going to be calculated per group. So understand this. This DF contains all the data, but this G contains group-wise data. Okay. Any other questions on this? Okay. Let's move next. Now, guys,
can we print it like before for DF function it will print it like a regular column, but here it is shows like normal thing.
So yeah,
can we print it like that?
No, because we are using grouped it, right? If you see grouped it, it is storing group wise details, segment wise segment. It's not like DF here. So that's why it is like that.
Okay.
What I am going to, so if you do this, if you want to print it group wise, if you want to print all the groups, then that is not possible. But if you print like this, like suppose only for Paris, then it will come as a data frame only for Paris. Okay. And
if you want to consolidated, it won't print like that.
Yeah, correct, right, exactly. So once it's consolidated, it's not printing like this in a visually good way, I can say. This is a visual, so this is an interactive way. You can see hovering around, you can select the rows. Okay, that is a separate thing. Now try to play with, guys. Like this is not all the things. Like this is just small things that we learned.
Okay, so the g.describe is working on the the consolidated data came from the loop we have run, right?
Correct. In those CT wise, like for Mumbai, what is the mean value? Only it is checking for the details about what? Mumbai.
Yeah.
Okay. Now there is a concept called concatenating data frame, guys. Now to concatenate the data frame, you need not to do anything. You just observe here what I'm doing. I'm creating a new data frame called India weather. With this one, this is the India weather, and I took 3 cities, city, 3 columns, city, temperature, and humidity, and pass some values. Now, can you see what is the type of data frame, how I created? We saw like using different data, you can create data frame, right? This is from which part? How you created this data frame? Using
set, right?
Dictionary.
Oh,
right.
sorry.
Dictionary. So dictionary, the key will be your columns, right? If you remember, key will be your columns, and the values to that key will be your values for that column. Okay. Now, if you see, city, temperature, humidity is my column, and the values inside city are Chennai, Delhi, and Bangalore. Temperature and humidity. So now this is one data frame. This is called India data frame. Now let's create weather data frame. US weather. US weather. What I did, same thing I did. I took 2 cities. Sorry, 3 columns: city, temperature, humidity, and passed also 3. Now there are 2 data frames: US weather and India weather. Now what if I try to merge these 2 regions or this 2 data frame into one? How to do that? Using concat function in Panda. Now, if you see here, what I did, I created a new data frame variable. There I have passed pd.concat. So this concat means it will combine the 2 data frames. Okay, and inside this function, I passed one parameter or one argument, and that also in form of what? List. And in the list, I passed first data frame as India weather, second data frame as US weather. That I just created above. Now, if we'll print this, can you see what happened? So this first part belongs to India, this second part belongs to US. Now there is some abnormality here. What is that? Can you see?
Oh, it is
Something is
showing the index number,
The index
like
number
0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2.
correct. So the index number is not in order. So if you are merging, we are expecting this to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So to do that, again, you need to follow the same thing, but here you need to pass an extra what? Parameter. That is called ignore. If you see my second line code, I have write ignore index. Okay, this should be true. Now if we'll do this, this index will be in the order now 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is one thing. Now in data science and data frame, there is a concept called axis, guys. Just 1 minute. Just give me 1 second, guys. Okay. Now there is a concept called axis. Okay. So suppose this is my data frame 1 and this is my data frame 2. 1 and 2. Now suppose what happened here, I concatenate the data frame in this way. Do you agree? This is 1, this is 2, right? This concatenated in a vertical direction, in this direction. Agree? Now this direction is called axis equal to 0, the vertical direction. Now what if I want to concave like this in this direction? That means what? This value should be moved to this place. Now this is a horizontal direction. Now if you want to perform this kind of concatenation, then that axis will be what? Axis equal to 1. So when in vertical direction you want to concatenate, that is 0. In horizontal direction, if you want to concatenate, that is axis equal to 1. Okay, so this thing you need to keep in mind. What is the most probably people get confused which axis 0 is horizontal or vertical like that, but it will come to you eventually. Okay, so don't get confused. Now let's see what we just learned, how to apply that. Now let's try to concatenate axis equal to 1.
Horizontal it is 0 and vertical 1.
No. Horizontal it is 1 and vertically it is 0. So the y-axis.
Okay, this horizontal vertical is always a problem.
Yeah, always. That's the human nature. Okay. So the thing is in the direction of y-axis, if you see the coordinate geometry, those you can recollect the coordinate geometry, this y-axis is 0. In this direction of x-axis, it is 1. That you need to keep in mind. Y-axis 0, x-axis 1. Okay, now let's try to understand this. Suppose can you see the result now? What happened? So I did the same thing, concatenate, and I provided the 2 data frames. But here I mentioned axis equal to 1. That means in which direction? Horizontal direction. In the direction of x-axis.
If you don't mention axis equal to 1, it will normally it will be vertical direction.
Yeah. Correct. So guys, one thing I wanted to show you guys, that like how you are picking it quickly. So I always like, although it is like making a bit late to our course, but still I can bear that. So always remember, develop a skill to read the documents that I have told from the initially, right? So always, if you don't understand any syntax, just search it in Google. Okay, pd.concat. Now, as soon as you do this, you will get the official documentation for this particular method called concat from Panda official documentation. Okay, now if you'll click here, you will get to know more about this method or function. Now, why we need this? To know what are all parameters or arguments we can pass to this function. This is the full list of arguments that you can pass. Here, how many arguments we used? 1 and 2, only 2, right? but actually there you can use so many arguments. Sort, ignore index we already saw, right? So how to do this or how to understand this? By reading. So that's why this is a skill we all need to develop. Now, if you go this, all the parameters that is being passed in the function, you can see explanation and the type of data that you can pass for this parameter. Now, if you see here axis, what type data you can pass? 0 means index, 1 means column. So this is means columns means in the x direction. And can you see what is the default value written here? 0.
Like in index, they were mentioning row, right?
So index means row, correct.
Okay.
And columns means, so again, if you see y-axis means all the row direction, right? And columns means in the x direction. And if you see here, if you don't, so that means if you don't mention all the parameters here, it is going to take some default values like this join parameter. So here we are not mentioning any joining thing, right? So that means by default it will do the outer join. Outer join means all the information. And what values also you can pass, that also you will get from this documentation. So in the join parameter, you can't say anything else apart from these two, either inner or outer. In the ignore index parameter, you need to pass a Boolean value. And the default is false. If you want to ignore the index, you have to make it ignore index equal to true. So like this, if you want to know more about any function, this is not only about pandas or anything, whatever in your.
And Ashish, like talking about that in ignore index, like in this, like when we were concatenating, we were ignoring the index equal to true. And like when we were working on the normal data frames, like while we try to, do some operations, like we have given index equal to false. So what is what is the difference between these two actually?
Where we have given index equal to false?
Yeah, like go a little
here, right?
Yeah,
here, right?
There, yeah.
So very nice question. Okay, usually people get confused. So try to understand here. We are talking about a different method or function here. What is the method?
Concatenation.
pd.concat. Here, this is pd or the df dot to excel or to csv. Two different methods are there. Now that means two different functions. So now two different functions can have different parameters or arguments, right?
Yeah.
So this belongs to this function, this index.
Okay.
Here, this ignore index belongs to concat function.
Okay. So that index, like, what is that? Ignore index is for concatenation function, and that index is for that reading function. Get it? Reading, writing function. Got it.
So that's what. So what is the meaning? What I'm saying here? Every method or every function you can know what is the parameter, what is the type of parameter, what is the all possible value that you are going to pass. If you don't pass the value, what is the default value? All this information you can get from this official documentation for every function. You can see here. So even if I am not aware about few of these functions, okay. So if you see all functions listed here and all the parameters that you can pass to these functions are also listed here. So even if any point of time you get confused, what is ignore index, what is this, why we are passing this, just go to the official documentation once and read the parameter. That's what my point was. Okay. Now, is there any question on this concatenation on axis 0 and 1? Okay. Now, can you tell me what is the difference between concatenation and merging in a layman term? So concatenation means add, like placed next to it. Merge means
in between.
Yes. Now in between, outer side, inside, wherever you want, you just merge it, merge to the data frame. Now concatenation, you can think of like, stacking on top of one another, stacking one block, then another block, stack. But merge means you are putting those data inside another data frame, or you are merging both the data frame, then you are creating a new data frame. Let's see with example. So again, to understand this, I created a temperature data frame. Okay, and in the temperature data frame, what are my columns? City and temperature, Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, and Hyderabad. So this data frame I created. Now let's create another data frame called humidity data frame. Now humidity also is having what? City in common. Now to merge the data, you have to have a common column which will be present both in both the data frames, a common column. So here, what is the common column? City. Although the values are different, what I mean say different, like you can see there is no Hyderabad, right, in the humidity data frame. So Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore are there. Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore are there in the temperature data frame, but there is no city called Hyderabad in the humidity data frame. Are you getting? Now let's try to merge it. Now when I say merge it, this concept also similar to the joining concept on SQL. Those who are aware about SQL and the syntax, the join operation we perform, this is kind of same thing we are going to do. So when we join two data frames based on a common column in both the data frames, then only we'll be able to what? Join or merge. Now let's try to merge it. Again, Python makes our life simpler. Just you need to call pd.merge function. In concatenation, what we are calling pd.concatenate, right? Here you need to call pd.merge function. Now again, if you want to know more about pd.merge function, what you need to do? You can go to official documentation and see the parameters that we are using. And while calling this function, your first parameter should be the temperature data frame, or the first data frame that you want to merge, then the second data frame. Now here on parameter will tell you on which column you want to do the merging, and that column should be present in both the data frame. Are you getting what I'm saying here? So that means merge data frame 1, data frame 2 on a common column called city. Okay, now if you print this, can you see what is happening here?
Yes.
So we
and
merged.
just can you try that index, like ignore index on that also? Let me try.
Yeah. So guys, to understand this, whether there is a ignore index parameter are there for this method or not, that you need to be sure, right? In this function, you can pass a ignore index parameter, that you should be aware, right? How you should be aware?
The documentation.
Let's go to the documentation. Can you see any parameter here called as ignore index? No, right?
No.
So what is the first parameter? Left data frame, right data frame, then how. This how is important. Now this how means how you want to join the table. So if you don't mention anything, by default it will take inner join. But if you want to mention any specific joining technique, these are the all possible values. Apart from this, you can't use anything else. Now, how can I say this? By referring to this documentation only.
Sure.
Okay. So if you'll go to this how parameter, you can pass either a left join, right join, outer join, inner join, cross join. Now, what are this joining technique? When we'll take the session on SQL, we'll get to know in detail. Okay, but here you just try to understand these are the joining techniques you can use. And if you don't mention anything, it will be inner join. So this is what happened here. We didn't pass any parameter called how, right? Here how is a parameter. And in the how we need to mention either left or inner. So if you didn't mention anything, so this how parameter took inner as by default. So what do we mean by inner join? Inner join means the common records both in two data frame. What I mean by common records? That means Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore are common to both the data frame, right? Not Hyderabad is not common. So that's why inner join only return you the common records. Now you see here see what I did. I used the outer join. Now same thing, only I changed from inner to outer here. Now if we'll do this, can you see what is the difference here in the result?
Yeah, it was coordinating all the columns and then giving us the results.
Yeah, so this is merging all the records. But even if you don't have the humidity details for Hyderabad, because in the humidity data frame, there is no city called Hyderabad, right? But still, if we perform outer join, it captures the details of temperature for Hyderabad. But as in the humidity table or humidity column, or sorry, humidity data frame, what? This Hyderabad is not there. So that's why you can see there is a NaN value. Now this you are going to get very frequently in your DS journey, in your DS carrier. This is called, and because of this value, you have one additional pre-processing steps. That is called data pre-processing, where what you are going to do, you are going to take care of this NaN value. So this NaN means not a number, like a null value. In tables, we have null values, right? Zero values. So here in data frame, this is called NaN. If something is not there, that means not a number. Now this is called a missing value here. Now when you do an end-to-end project, you will get to know these things. There is a step called deal with missing values. Because in real life scenario, you will have lots of missing values in your data. So you have to take care of those missing values first. Okay, so that is a different thing. We have a whole session scheduled for that. So let's not discuss more on that. Just try to understand this means null value and why it is coming. Because of this outer join.
We are joining outer.
Yeah, because we are joining all the data, not the common data, everything. That means we want everything. But in everything, Hyderabad's humidity details is not there. Okay, that's why it is making a NaN value or non value here. Getting it, guys, right? So we took a whole session on this of key operation and data frame. But yeah, like as soon as long as you guys are happy, I am happy. I'll go slow. Okay. Now,
Yeah, like Python was little bit hard to understand, but these things seems fun actually.
Yeah, because
like all we need to do is like if you want to merge, PD merge. If you want to can merge.
Yes, so the visualization is very interactive. That's why. And this is a starting, guys. It's not started yet. When you go to the visualization session, then you'll see like how many ways you can draw the graph and all. Then there is going to be very fun. Okay. So actually in this session, you say, right, Python JSON, we didn't cover. Okay. So here we are going to cover that. Okay, Python JSON. Okay. Now what is Python JSON? So what is a JSON? Have you heard about JSON file before?
It's a file with JavaScript
object notation. Okay, so this JSON is also one type of file format. This is basically used in your software industry, or you can say when you are hitting a website. Okay, we are hitting a website, are giving our username, password, everything, right? Any website. So these details are getting exchanged in terms of JSON format. So whatever happening in the web, That is like frequently used, the data is being interchanged between user to the system and from system to the user in the form of JSON, in the form of a request and response. So when we are providing username and password and hitting login button, that means we are requesting some user by providing some information. Then in the response, it will give us the login page after successful login. That is the response. So now all these things we are doing, that is getting stored inside some log file, or this data, whatever username, password that we are passing, those data are going to the main site and getting verified through JSON file, like, or JSON format. Now what is a JSON format? Very easy format that we already saw. Can you see what happened here? This is a JSON file format, and the format will be pretty much similar to your dictionary. But here you have a nested dictionary. You can have nested dictionary. Now this concept, when there is a session on MongoDB, again you are going to see this kind of data. Actually, I borrowed this data from MongoDB session, okay, to make you understand about JSON. So can you see here what is happening? The data is being stored in a curly braces like dictionary, right? So this is the end and start of the dictionary. And as we know, every dictionary contains a key. This is a key. So what are the main keys here? Employees key, okay? And this is the employee key. Only one key we have here, employee key. Now, if this is a key, what is the value here? What is the value to this key? Can you see what is the value of this key, employee?
Yeah, like that, John Doe, like all these three
All
things.
these things, all the area that I'm selecting in blue, this is the value to the employee key in our dictionary. Okay, and this value contains a now list. Inside list, what we have? Again, we have 3 dictionary. So this is a initial dictionary which contains a key and value. Inside the value, we have 3 more dictionary listed in a list. So this is the list, end and open and end. If you see, this is the list containing 3 dictionaries. Again, what is the 3? This one is 1, this one is 1, and this one is 1, right? Now, if you deep dive into this, again, inside the individual dictionary of the value, again, we have key value, where it contains what? Name is the key, John Doe is the value, age is the key, 35 is the value. So when you store data in this format, in which format? Key and value, and it can be a nested key value. So now this key contains this value, which is a list containing dictionaries again, and inside each dictionary again you have a key and value which contains the necessary details like name, age, position, department, salary. So this is an example of what? JSON data. So whatever we are doing of like on the web, the data we are exchanging between the server and us, it will be like this. So when you give a password, then one key will be created as what? Password, and your password will be stored like this. Like if someone has encryption policy, then it will be stored star star star. Are you getting it? So like this, the data is going to be exchanged through JSON file or in the JSON format, JavaScript notation object.
Okay, so JSON file is kind of a nested dictionary, right?
Correct.
Okay.
You can say in one way. And we'll cover this more in detail. We're going to play with this type of data through MongoDB. Okay. I think that is on module 6 or 5. I can't remember. Yeah, we'll see that. Now, the thing is, why we're learning this, I want to show you that if this is your data, you can store this data in a file like we did for CSV and Excel. You can store this in a JSON file. So suppose this is my data. I save this data in a variable called what? Data. Right? Data. Now, If you see here, our file handling session, to open a file, if the file doesn't exist, it will create a new file by giving what? W. W means what, guys? Right. Right operation.
Yes.
So what we are doing here, we are creating a JSON file called employees.json. We are giving this name in the right format. That means if this file doesn't exist, it will create a new one. Or if exist, what will happen? If exist already, what will happen?
The data will lost.
Overwriting will be there.
Yeah.
It will overwrite the old data. Okay. So we are doing this. And we are
Like
using
with the open employee JSON, right? As if like we were creating an object for this file, right? If like we were storing the data instead, like.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And here we are using a library called JSON, import JSON. So why we are using this library? Because of this. By using this library, you can call a function of this library called dump. Now this dump function will take the first parameter as the data, and the second parameter is the file object that you are creating as f. Now if I'll run this code, can you think what will happen? It will create a JSON file inside your directory with all this data dumped into it. Okay, let's do that. Employee.json. That means I dumped all this JSON data to a JSON file. Now how to read that JSON file? Again, but here we need to open in a read mode. So JSON.dump is to dump the data or save the data. JSON.load is to retrieve the data. Now if we run this.
Data, what the JSON file you created prior.
Yeah, here data means this variable where I stored all this dictionary details.
So that this data you're dumping it into the file that you're going to create.
Correct. And I am retrieving it by calling JSON.load. In the reading mode, so I created this
also, right?
Sorry.
This dump function we had it in pickling also, right?
Correct. In pickling also. But that is for pickle module. Here this is for JSON module. Okay, and if you see here, I printed the data. So what does that mean? I created a new file, I saved it, and tomorrow I came again. I want to access this file again. I open this file in a read mode and load this JSON.load data. Now when I print the data, you can see this is the information we provided, right? Employee is the key. The value is a list of dictionaries. How many dictionaries are there in this list? 3. Now you can use this. You dump all the data from this JSON. Now you can again do your analysis. Suppose you want to change this name from Jane Smith to something else, or Sari, or anything. Any modification again you do, and again you can save in a different JSON file. Are you getting? Now suppose you want to print the age of the employee. So what I'm doing here, data. So now can you tell me what is this? So now my data is this one, right? If I'll print the data, this is this one. This whole is my data. Can you tell what is the type of this data variable? What should be the type?
Dictionary.
How to verify that?
Type data.
Oh, okay. So what I'm going to do, just a minute, guys. Here, what I'm going to do, type data. Okay, so this will be a dictionary. You are correct. Now, how to access data from a dictionary? So if I want to access a particular value, then I will call its key. So data, then what? Key. Now this data is having only one key, that is employee. Now if we'll print this, what will happen? All the values, that means this data, these things will come. Now what is this type of data? What is the type of this data, employee?
Dictionary.
Okay, we'll see that.
Type of the okay, so data employee. Okay.
Yes.
JSON. Okay, so we were storing it in a list. Okay, get it.
So we got the data as, so see, we call the key from the dictionary, and the values to this key is a list of dictionaries, isn't it? So all the data, so how many, so now this list contains how many elements? Tell me.
Three.
This list now contains
Three dictionaries.
three dictionaries. So now it is easy for you to play with a list. How to access the first element? 0. How to access the second element? 0. Sorry, 1. If we'll do this, sorry, if we'll remove this type and we'll run this, what will happen? Jane Smith details will pop down because this is the second element. Now, what is the format of this data? This is again dictionary. Again, if you want to, so this whole is now my dictionary. And this dictionary containing the details of Jane Smith. Now tell me, if I want to access Jane Smith's salary, how I'll access?
We
now
can give
just
the key.
Key name. So key name from where? The dictionary. What is my dictionary? This whole thing is my dictionary. If I remove this one, what will happen? Then this will again become the list. From the list, we are accessing the second element, which is a dictionary. Now again, if I want to access the Jane Smith salary, what I need to do? If this is a dictionary, then I will call this key again. What is key?
Salary.
Can you see how I am breaking down this? From the JSON data to access a particular element or particular value.
So to do all these only, like we were saving this dictionary in a list to the another key, right?
No, first you need to understand my original data was a JSON format data, which is this. So JSON, now JSON format data is having key and value, and the values here is the list of.
Okay, so it defaultly it will work in that way. So the JSON format will have one key, and in the like for that key it will have values in a list format.
So if I'll remove this and I'll say like, okay, this is also a JSON file.
Yeah.
JSON data. So instead of like this is my key, this is my value. Okay. So now in this value section, I can make a list, I can make a dictionary, anything, but it should be in a key value pair. Getting it? Okay, so all
like now I'm getting
about
confused between this dictionary and JSON because.
But both are same, I told, right?
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
So dictionary and JSON, you will see common things. Key. So basically, you try to understand key and value. That's all. Okay, but you try to play with it, right? Because this is not the overall thing. Once you spend some time on it, then only you'll be comfortable. And what I'm showing to you, this is also didn't came at overnight. Okay, I made lots of practice. That's why I'm able to explain this to you.
If we want to change the salary of the person, means how to change it, sir?
Here. So I think your question already answered here. So suppose if you see here, I want to change the salary of what? Employee number 1. That is, what is the employee number 1 here?
John Smith, right?
So guys,
John Doe, sorry.
This is Jane Smith. Suppose Jane Smith's salary is 80,000. I want to change it to 85,000. And I want to, after changing, I want to save the file in a JSON format. That will do. Okay, how to do? Now, Jane Smith details are this one. How to access the salary?
One minute. Instead
Yeah.
of giving the name, can we give the index number of that
Which
salary?
one?
Like you're giving salary, right?
Huh.
Instead of that, can we give that index number of that thing? Like here after employees, you are giving one for accessing James.
Okay, guys. This is actually really okay. Let it be. Let's take some time. But I want to explain. This is actually a conceptual thing, guys. Okay. Again, I'll explain. So after retrieving some details, you get the type of that data. So what is this type? What is the data type here? Dictionary, right? So here, how to access a dictionary item with the key names. Here, what is the key of the dictionary? Employees. Now, if I'll do this, what is the type of data I'm getting? It is a list, because this is the value of the employees key, which is a list. Now, to access the list element, I made the index number equal to 1. This is how you access, right? A list. Okay, so as soon as you do this, this will access the second element of your list. Now, now you can do like this also. List saved in a variable. Okay. No, this is not a list. This is not a list. Why this is not a list? Can you see this is not a list?
Dictionary.
It is a dictionary because the first and second element of the list is a dictionary. Now again, if this is a dictionary, how to access any particular key here?
With the key name.
Right. So to understand this, you save these details in a dictionary variable. Okay. And now if you use your dictionary, how to access something from the dictionary? With its key.
Yes.
So here access the key called salary. So instead of save this in a variable, I write directly here. So this can be now also, if you write dict and salary, this will give you the salary details. Now suppose you want to change it. You change it to from 80,000. See guys, so now this line is exactly same as this line. Can you get it? Try, take 1 minute and try to digest it. This whole line is same as this line. Why? Because this thing.
Get it.
So how to change the salary now? You change it to what? 85,000, because initially it was 80,000, right? Now once you did that, so once you do like this, let me ping here, and so once you assign the value to 85,000, now can you see if I'll print the data, what will happen? It's my original data, right? And second employee, that is Jane Smith, we changed it from 80,000 to 85,000, right? Now again you can write this data in a JSON file again like this, with open employees.new JSON in a write format, and dump this data. Now if we dump this data and run this code, what will happen? Again a new file will be created with updated salary of Jane Smith. But this is going to be saved inside what? Employees new.json. Making sense here? So this is how you can change the data and save into a new file also. Okay, guys. So I think we have to take another session to complete the data frame, guys, to be honest with you, because for this whole key operation, we took one session. So guys, so any query here? Or shall we move to the next?
We can move.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move to the next call. Your So I think this data manipulation will be first thing that I need to show you, because this will be easy to understand, because this pivot table, again, you need to take some time and we don't have time. I think you will need to leave also, right? Guys, give me just 10 minutes. We'll see how we are going to cover in 10 minutes. Okay, so this is
pivot table is same as Excel pivot.
Sorry?
The pivot table that you were just saying, is it same as Excel, MS Excel?
Right. Exactly. Same thing you can do here also in pivot table, but that concept need half an hour to 45-minute explanation. So that's why I'm not taking right now. So I just jump to the next topic called, this manipulation. I think this is going, you will get it quickly. Few of the operation I kept here and I wrote the code for that. First is how to drop a column. These are the basic operation you will do encounter in your day-to-day life. Drop a column in data frame. So first of all, I created a data frame using what? pd.data frame and this dictionary key and value thing. Okay, and let me comment this thing. Okay, let me comment this thing. Let me try to run this. So can you see what will happen if I'll do this? What is the data frame containing? How many columns? 3, A, B, and C. Okay, let's see. So this one. Suppose I want to drop A and B column. You have to do like this. So now df.drop. You can see df.drop, and here in the column parameter, you have to pass the column names that you want to drop. Now, if I'll do this and print this, because this data frame is not going to be printed, so I'll make a print statement here. Now can you see what happened? A and B column got dropped, and you have, so this is because of this print statement, and this df which is you are showing here is after dropping the column. This is for drop a column. Any query on this drop column or making sense, right? Now it is easy. Now you'll get the syntax is a bit easy. Okay, so this concept. Okay, guys, give me this concept to explain. Lambda function. I told you when we saw lambda function, this is going to make your life easier while dealing with data frames. So to understand lambda function, first let's create a data frame with ABC. Again, same with ABC column. Now what we are going to do here, okay, what we are going to do here, we are going to create a new column as D. And the column should be the sum of the numbers of column A and B. How is that possible? Now this is my DF. This is my DF. I want to create an extra column called D, which will having my summation value from column A and B. Are you getting what I'm saying? That means D column will contain 5 in first row, then 7 in second row, then 9 in third row. Now how to do this? Using df.apply function. So here when you call df.apply function, this means you are applying some operation or a function on the data frame. Now here we are going to use lambda. So when you say df.apply, it is taking the first parameter as lambda function. That means this is the operation that I want to do. And again, you have to mention the axis here. In which direction you want to perform this action? Axis 1 means which direction, guys? Horizontal, right? Yeah. That means I want to perform the action in this direction. This is also making sense, right? Because here we are going to create a column called D. In horizontally from A and B column, we are going to submit the values. Okay. So that's why I am telling the system that apply this function. We'll see what this function is and you will get it quickly. I know. Apply this function horizontal direction and create a new column called D. If you see here, I am creating a new column. How I am creating a new column? By calling the data frame and mentioning the name of the column that I want to create. So this means create a new column D, apply a lambda function in horizontal direction. This is what it means. Now let's try to understand the lambda function. What the lambda function is taking an input. How many types of input are there? Only one. So this is now doing a row wise operation. You need not to write a for loop and go row by row and add the values. Instead of that, lambda function is saying go row by row, take the row value, and from the row value, select the X column, sorry, A column. So this means go in this direction. I'll use the pen here. Go in this direction, row by row, and for each row, select the value from A column and select the value from B column. This is what it is telling us. Go row by row, take one input of row. In that particular row, select the value of A column plus select the value of B column. And perform this operation in horizontal direction by creating a new column called D. Now let's run this and print the data frame. Can you see what happened?
Yes, it is added and then it will create a new column.
Okay. Now suppose again one more example we'll see. What we are going to do. We are going to print the data types of this data frame. Okay. What is the data frame type? So 4 columns we have. In 4 columns we have 4 data types, like integer, all the integer data types, right? Now what I need to do, I want to change a particular column data type from integer to string. Now how to achieve that? Again, use of.
So the reason why we were using the lambda function is because of we were changing, like we were ignoring to use the for loop, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. So if you want to use a for loop, you write a for loop to access each row, and in the each row you explain what the action you need to perform. We saw that dry code thing, right, guys? So this is one example of dry code. And by writing this one line, you are achieving you are ignoring or avoiding so many writes of code. So that's why I said like lambda function will be a life savior, because data frame is what you are going as a data scientist. Data frame is the most important thing that you are going to play with. Okay, and there this apply function, lambda function, is going to help you out. Now can you see what happened here? What I'm doing here? I am calling that A column. So here in the A column, I am changing the data type from integer to float. Can you see what happens? I call that A column. In that A column, I am storing by applying this function. I am storing the details by applying this function dfa dot apply. Inside, what is the function I'm using? Lambda. And why I'm not
As
using
that 1 minute. Okay, that apply function will do the calculations, right? The lambda functions will select that from which column to which column, or like which row to which row.
No, little bit modification. No, little bit modification here. Apply function apply the required operation or function. Now, what is the operation and function? This is defined by lambda function. Now, if you'll say delete all the things and write a function for that, we can use that inside a apply function. So apply means whatever you want to apply, you will apply. Now, what you want to apply or what is the operation that you want to perform, that need to be mentioned by lambda function, like this here. Here the operation, what I need to do, I need to change the integer type from integer to float. This is the operation I want to do. And I
Okay, whatever
define
the
this inside
function
an
we have,
application.
whatever the functions we have defined inside, it will apply to that apply function, right?
Exactly. Right. So here the function we want to change is, it will lambda function will take one input and it will change that input to float and give you the output, and it will be applied in row wise. Let's see that. Okay, so after doing this, what I'm doing, I'm again printing the data frame types. Okay, let's see that. So this is my original data types. Now what I did, I changed the column A value from integer to float. Now if you see, now this column value containing float values. Now how to verify that? df. Can you see what happened to A column? All the value got changed from integer to float. Same you can able to do with what? String also. Like if you want to change the, so why I'm telling this to you, because when you are real life projects, there you have to change certain things in a particular column based on the categorical data, based on the other types of data. So your model expects some specific data types. So there you can use this one liner and quickly change all your data types and pass this information to your model. Okay.
So
Now
just one
suppose
question.
you want to,
Suppose if I want to change the value of one particular value in that column, not all the rows.
Then see, then again that slicing thing. You select that particular row, then you assign the value. So from a data frame, you will be able to set a particular row, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so your thinking is correct only.
Okay.
But
So we have to first
here,
create a data
yeah.
frame with one row. After getting that output, then you have to apply this function.
Correct. Not this function. You can directly assign them. So here what we did in our previous notebook, we changed the salary from 80 to 85,000. We changed inside the data, then again so try with this. Good question. So try, you explore your own, then only will get to know. Now quickly, there is another option. It is the
And
last.
Ashish, sorry to cut you off. We have changed for A, right? So if I want to do it for B, then I need to do the same thing, like df, like B.
Correct. Here in place of A,
I need to replace it.
B.
Okay. So if I want to do it in sequence, do I able to do it like A, comma B like that?
Yes. So do one thing. Okay, that is a good question. So see, guys, this is taking time, but yeah, I also enjoy this. So if you see df dot columns, if I write like this, it will listed out what?
A, comma B, comma C, comma D, like that. It was in a list.
Now this is a list, right? Now I can write a for loop on this list. Sorry. I can write a for loop on this list and I can perform the same. But here, if I try to write here, what I'm going to write, guys, if I write the same thing, here in place of A, what we need to write?
I.
Right, because it is taking the list one by one. Okay. And if you want to perform this on a multiple columns, then you can write a for loop. First you gather the columns in a list, then you iterate over the list, then you do this thing. Getting?
Yeah.
So again, so the as like the same concept, you have all the raw materials now. How to use it, that is different thing. Well, let's last operation, guys. This is last operation. I know it's a 11.5. Here, what we are doing? Can you tell me what we are doing? Try to think.
Row wise, you're trying to change the data type.
We are applying this function to every row.
You guys are like partially correct. Here we're not applying or changing anything. Here, if you see when there is a greater than, less than, double, equal to, that means we are checking some condition. So this means select, show me those columns whose columns data type is float. That means df.apply, apply on the data frame. What you need to apply? A lambda function, where the lambda function will take a input and return me what? A Boolean value. What is the Boolean value? If the type of data is float or not. If any column containing float values, this will return true. Now, whenever this is true, that rows or that details we are going to get. So as per our data, what is the row value? Actually, I ran this again. So again, the A column got int 64, isn't it?
Like why we were using the df.apply here, because that apply function will help us to apply the conventional kind of stuffs, right? The data convention kind of stuff, right?
But here we are checking it. So see, I said apply is a operation, and what operation or you want to perform, that is need to be mentioned in lambda. Now you use lambda to change the value. You can use lambda to check a condition also, isn't it? So lambda is there. It is an anonymous function. Using the anonymous function, you can do anything. You can change the data
So
type, or
only
you
that
can
apply
change the,
function will work with lambda, or we can work with any other stuffs, because I'm
you
getting
can define
that.
as you can define no you can define your own custom function, and you can pass here also. Now to understand this, again I'll take some more time, guys. Please, those who are getting late for the office, you can go. Actually, I'm not covering any new things today, so it's just this discussion. I will stop any new topic. If you see df.apply official documentation, again if you want to know more about it, can you see what the first parameter it is mentioning here?
Function.
So this is, so if you see this description, function to apply to each column or row. That means either you can use a lambda function or you define your own function. But that function should take an input and provide you some output. You need to make sure. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
So still, guys, like it needs practice. That's all. That's all I can say. To be honest with you, like it's this kind of details no one made me understood, or else like data frame I could have learned in 1 week or 2 weeks. Okay, but yeah, happy to share all the experience with you. Okay, so with this we'll stop here, guys. Tomorrow we'll continue. I think one more session we need to cover this all things, because we are going in detail. Okay, so but I have shared all the files with you. If you want to refer the next topic, you can refer. It is self-explanatory. Now I think if someone will give you something in pandas or data frame, you will be at least will be able to explain, right?
Yes.
So with this, shall we wind off? Any question or generic question that you want to ask or anything?
Yeah, I have one generic question, Ashish. So Ashish, like with this, so like till today, whatever I have learned or attended the sessions, can I start hitting the data analyst roles interviews?
Definitely. Start right now.
No, that's all. No, is this knowledge enough for me to hit the interviews? I'm asking.
Enough. But like the thing
But
is,
SQL
once you
is
start,
required for data analysis, right?
see for data, SQL, Excel knowledge, Python knowledge, data visualization knowledge, Tableau, Power BI. So those knowledge are required. But if you start today, it will take at least 1 month to pick the pace to get the industry standard. So if you start right now, you will see what is the requirement of the industry. That is the one vital part here. By doing the research, what people need, what companies need, so that you see that and you can prepare.
Yeah, exactly. I want to do some net practice like thing.
Right. So try searching for data analyst role and see what are the requirements from the companies, what they need. Some people will need Python specialist to do visualization and this data frame thing. Some needs those who are confident in Power BI or Tableau. Okay, so it depends on company. So once you start spending time, you will know what you need.
Okay, Ashish, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, anything else?
Thank you for the patience explanation. It's really saving our time as well.
Happy. I'm happy actually. And that's why I'm doing this freelancing of teaching also, because I enjoy this by sharing my experience with you. This makes me happy when someone, understands that. Okay, so this is one thing, because the work you are going to do, you have to enjoy it. If you are not enjoying it, then I recommend don't do it. So yeah, my pleasure, guys, like to help you guys. Okay, so we'll meet tomorrow then, if that is okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Have a nice day, guys. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.